You haven't read fairies ever like this before. It's a bold claim, but it's one I stand by. Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Emma and today I'm going to be telling you a little bit about some of my favourite underrated YA books. So I've got 10 books to show you guys today. 6 belong to YA series and 4 belong to YA standalones. I've split this video into YA series and YA standalones because I know some people really prefer to read series and others standalones. You can just pick which type you prefer, or you could watch the whole video. I was a really big YA reader in my teens, so quite a lot of these books are a little bit older, which is maybe why I've not seen them talked about a whole lot online. But that just means that you guys will get to see some more good books, so I'm really happy about that. All of the authors I'm going to mention are so great and they deserve so much more love. So if they have Instagram, I've linked their Instagram down below, and I've also left an Amazon link to the books that I'm going to mention in case you want to give them some love. And with all that said, let's just get into the first set of recommendations. So first of all, I'm going to be talking about young adult series that I really like, and the first series I've got to recommend to you is The Medusa Project by Sophie Mackenzie. Now, as you can see by my well-worn coffee, I absolutely love this series. This series involves a group of teenagers who develop superpowers around the tail end of puberty around 16. They discover that it's because their parents, and obviously their unborn selves, took part in a genetic engineering trial called the Medusa Project, and this series follows all of the children with superpowers, and it's just so unique and really, really interesting. So if you like Marvel, if you like MCU, this is probably for you. Also, if I remember correctly, each book is from a different character's perspective, so it has like a sort of found family aspect, and you get to see from a lot of different characters' perspectives, which is something I love in books. So if that's something you really like to, definitely check out The Medusa Project by Sophie Mackenzie. The second series I want to talk about is Finding Sky by Joss Sterling. This series focuses on the Benedict brothers, and they are all savants, and savants are people that have been born with a sixth sense and they therefore have sort of superpowers and this allows them to speak telepathically to each other, and each brother has a slightly different gift. The first book definitely has some Twilight parallels, but the second and third, and beyond that, but the second and third are my favourites, have a bit of a sort of crime thriller, young adult romance element, and they're really, really good. I'd really recommend this series to anyone that likes Twilight, anyone that, again, likes sort of MCU, and just anyone that's looking for a good young adult romance to lose themselves in. So the third series I've decided to mention is The Mortal Rules by Julie Kagwa. I've picked this book for its really unique take on vampires. It's vampires in a post-apocalyptic world. It kind of has some Resident Evil vibes if you've ever watched that. This book's definitely a lot more gritty and like grungy than the other books on this list. Ali, our main character, starts off human in a city where humans are raised and bred for blood for the vampires, and during the series she turns into a vampire. I remember when I first read this, I found the villain in this book absolutely terrifying, and I found the world just so unique, so I'm really excited to recommend it to you guys. I'd really recommend it to anyone that sort of likes dystopian apocalyptic books, but also those that like something a little bit darker with a bit more grit. The next series on this list is Knife by R.J. Anderson, and I absolutely love this series. It's so good. You haven't read fairies ever like this before. It's a bold claim, but it's one I stand by, because the fairies in this book aren't the tall fae. They are little tiny fairies in the garden, which is so unique to find in young adult books. I feel like fairies are always human sized, but these fairies are tiny, they do have wings, and it's just really sweet. So in this book we follow Knife, who lives with a lot of other fairies in a tree at the bottom of the garden, and she's lived quite a sheltered life inside until she becomes one of the hunters for the group. And as she ventures outside and discovers more of the human world, we get to see her thoughts and feelings and opinions change, and it's so good. Don't want to say more because it's just such a unique plotline, such a great story. So if fairies are your thing, but you're looking for something a bit different, I would definitely recommend this book. Now the second last series that I'm going to recommend is the Evernight series by Claudia Gray. Now, I actually love every book in this quartet apart from the last one, but I'm recommending it because the plot twist in the first book is staggering, and still as I'm thinking about it, it left me reeling. When I first read the plot twist, I remember I actually gasped out loud and had to go back and reread a good 3 or 4 chapters before the plot twist to try and wrap my head around what just happened. This series is about a boarding school. It's quite mysterious and there are vampires involved. If you like dark academia and if you like paranormal books and paranormal romance, this is definitely a book series for you. It's such a great book and it is a great series. Although the last one was a tad disappointing for me, I would still recommend it. Now, the last series is from quite a recently popular author, but I actually read her work before she properly blew up. I think I've read pretty much everything she's ever written. I definitely see this as my favourite series from her in the YA genre, and that is the Lux series by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I don't actually own this because I devoured all of these on Kindle back to back in my 5th year of high school and I adored them. I still adore them, and I have actually went back and reread a couple of books in the series. Now, what's this series about? Hot aliens. I'll say that again, hot aliens. Very unique. All you really need to know. Also, our main character is a booktuber. There's also a really heavy element of the brother's best friend trope in here, which I absolutely adore. It's pretty much a mix of everything I like. The aliens were new, but I quite like the aliens. There are so many great things about this series. It would be impossible to name them all, but one of my favourite aspects of this series was the way that Jennifer L. Armentrout created such unique alien species and also made them attractive. I would really recommend this one if you've read some of Jennifer L. Armentrout's stuff before and really liked it, or if you're just looking for something a bit different. So now we're in the standalone section and I've got 4 books to show you guys. The first standalone book and one of my absolute favourite books of all time is Halo by Zhao Zhu Corder. Now this book is perfect for fans of Madeline Miller, and there are some really strong sort of Song of Achilles vibes in here. The story follows Halo, who was rescued and washed ashore from a shipwreck where her parents died, and she's raised by centaurs. And she is washed away again, captured by fishermen when she is a bit older, and her journey begins from there. She travels all across Greece. There's a part where she pretends to be a boy in a Spartan warrior group, and it's just fantastic. If you like adventure stories, if you like ancient Greece, if you like ancient mythology, there's some of that in here as well. And it's just one of my favourite books of all time, so I would really recommend it. So the second standalone book I've got to show you guys today is probably one of the more popular ones in this video, and it is from another popular author, and it is The Host by Stephenie Meyer. This book is definitely my favourite book that Stephenie Meyer has written, even though I'm a huge fan of the Twilight Saga, more for nostalgia purposes, but I do love it. In this story we follow Wanderer, who is a soul, and souls are aliens and they are technically parasites. They have to be inserted into the body of another living creature in order to survive, but they take over that creature's brain and nervous system and they become them, so they basically just use the body. So this is set on Earth, and the souls save planets from species that are mistreating them and destroying them, and obviously with climate change that means that they have taken over Earth. And most of the world has been taken over, but there's still pockets of human rebellion and human resistance. And one of the rebels is called Melanie. She is caught, and Wanderer, when she comes to the planet Earth, is put inside Melody. Now Wanderer has lived in all of the different worlds that the souls have acquired, and she has a huge life experience because of this. And every time you're put inside a creature's body, their consciousness is meant to disappear. However, when Wanderer is put inside Melanie, Melanie sticks around, and they actually become friends, and Wanderer slowly starts to fall in love with humans and the Earth, and starts to turn on her own species. And this is a spectacular book. It has so many important themes and it is just gorgeous. I've reread this about 4 or 5 times. I've taken something different away from it each and every time I've read it, and that is the mark of a truly great book in my opinion. I love it. If you like sci-fi, definitely read this. Even if you don't like sci-fi, definitely read this because there's a really strong romance element in here as well, and it's just really unique. So I definitely recommend this one. The third standalone book I've got to recommend to you guys today is really sad. So if you're needing a good cry, I would definitely recommend this one, and it is Ways to Live Forever by Sally Nichols. Now this book is gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous, although it's very sad and very painful. It is about a little boy with cancer, and this is his diary, and he makes lists, and one of the lists is called Ways to Live Forever. It touches on a lot of really philosophical themes, and it's just absolutely stunning. Get ready to cry, get ready to sob. This is definitely a book that I reread every time that I'm in a hormonal need of a good cry. The final standalone book I've got to recommend to you guys today is Follow Me Down by Tanya Bryan. I don't actually have a physical copy of this anymore because I lent it to someone because I loved it so much and I've never got it back. This was one of the first good thrillers I read, and it really had me scratching my head at the end with the plot twists. This was also the first book that I read from the point of view of a non-white character, which just shows you how far we've come with representation in young adult literature and literature in general. However, there's still a lot of work to be done. Adama, who is a Nigerian diplomat's daughter, starts to attend a prestigious boarding school and meets a girl called Scarlett. They become fast friends. This is all good and well until they both fall for the same guy, and then the battle lines are drawn. This book is told in dual timelines, so there's a then and there's a now, and I'm pretty sure you don't know what the then and the now are at the start, but it is when Scarlett goes missing. So if you're looking for a dark academia type thriller book, look no further. This is one of my favourite YA thrillers of all time, and I really hope you guys end up enjoying it as much as I did. So that's me all finished for today. That's my 10 favourite underrated YA books. Let me know down in the comments if you've read some of them, or if you've heard of some of them, or even if you're going to go buy some now. I would really encourage you guys to check out some of the authors' Instagrams because they really deserve a lot of love and attention for their books. And if you'd like to see more content like this, then please leave a like and subscribe to my channel. Thanks so much.